start working through task 2, because that's what you should be doing today. So hopefully yesterday you were able to get your 5 cities picked, and you have your map, you have your route mapped out, so you know the order in which you are stopping at different cities. So I'm going to go ahead and share my desktop and then open up the document. Remember to be opening this document. Whoops, I think I did that too fast. Hold on, I'm going to try that again. There we go. Okay. Remember, you should be opening the document from your saved location from yesterday. Don't go back to Canvas to re-download it, and don't go into your downloads folder. Hopefully you moved it out of there yesterday. And I have to remember if this is my one from pre-algebra. No, this is the right one. Okay, so from yesterday, again, you should have, hopefully, your 5 cities picked. And then yesterday I had a couple questions about ending location. So you do have to travel from your 5th city back home, which is why it says to enter your home address here. So make sure, all right guys, knock it off. So make sure that you have, you went all the way through to get yourself all the way back home. And then you were supposed to Google Map everything. Don't forget to screenshot those images. Hopefully that worked okay for everyone. It was not working very well for me yesterday. I don't know what was going on. And then also you should have calculated the total distance in miles for your trip by adding the distance between all 5 of those cities, and you have to get back home. That needs to be included in there as well. So you actually should have 6 numbers here that you're adding together. I think I need one more plus sign. City 1, City 2, City 3, City 4, City 5, and then back home. Yeah. So make sure you show your work there. So today is all about transportation. And there are a couple of different things you have to do here in order to figure out how long your trip is going to be. The reason why we need to know how long the trip is because we need to know how long we need to rent the car for. So today it will be picking a vehicle, calculating how long our trip is, how much is that vehicle going to cost us, and how much are we going to have in fuel. So it's probably easier, I don't know, it's probably easier if you're just watching what I do, and then you can go back later and access this video to kind of go through it as you're doing it live, and you can pause it and that kind of thing. So it says for task 2, calculate the following transportation costs based on your road trip. So for letter A, it says assume you can travel 800 miles in 1 day. This does not include sightseeing. Approximately how many days would you need to make your trip worthwhile? You must include time for sightseeing, and you will be staying at least 1 night in each city, except when you get back home, obviously. Justify your answer. So if I go back to the table from yesterday where I had to enter how many nights I'm staying, the first thing you need to do is add those up. So add up the number of nights that you're staying in each location. Add up the number of nights you're staying That's going to be part of your answer. But that's not how long you're going on the trip, because if you'll remember from yesterday, I had a destination that was further than 800 miles, and you can only travel 800 miles in a day. So this is going to add days to your trip. Now, will every city add days to your trip in travel? Probably not. There are probably several of you who have locations that are less than 800 miles apart. But if you have something that's 800 miles or more, you're going to have to stop halfway, and that's going to add a day to your travel time, an additional day. So if your first destination is 800 miles away, you don't have to worry about it. 800 miles or less. But my first destination is 2,251 miles away. So I have to add that into the total length of my trip. So add up the number of nights you're staying at each of your 5 cities, plus any extra driving days. I'll put this part in parentheses. This comes from taking your mileage and dividing by 800. You may have to do this more than once. So so that's a good question. If it's a decimal, you're just gonna round. You have to round up always. So for example, and mine's going to be a decimal because it's not perfect. It was what was that number again? 2,251. Yeah, 2251. So I'm gonna type into my calculator. Let's see. Herbst. Oops. Example. So 2,251 divided by 800, 2251 divided by 800 is 2.81375. So that will add 3 days to my trip. It's going to take me 3 days to get to San Diego. I'm going to start and drive a day. I'm going to stay somewhere. I'm going to have to start and drive another day, stay somewhere, and then I'll be able to get the rest of the way to San Diego. So I'm going to have to add in those 3 days to my trip. So every time that happens, every time you divide, or every time you're traveling further than 800 miles, you're going to have to divide by 800 to see how many days that will take you. Now, if you have a destination that's like 820 miles away, okay, you can go ahead and drive the extra 20. But if it's like, I'm going to say 850 or higher, you can't squeeze in those extra 50 miles. So if you have a destination that's 897 miles away, you are going to have to take 2 days to get there. We will talk tomorrow about what that means in terms of hotels and lodging, because we're going to have to get extra hotels and things like that. But so for today, you're adding up the number of nights you're staying in each of your 5 cities, which was in your table. You put that's the last column of the table. Plus, you have to add any extra driving days. So you have to take your mileage between each city and divide it by 800 and to figure out how many more days that will be. So let's just say that is it. Now that's it. So let's say my total trip is, we're going to say 20 days, just for the purpose of the rest of this. So I'm going to use the number 20 from here on out for the length of my trip. It's possible that your trips are going to be a lot longer than this, but I'm just going to use 20 currently. So once I've added up 20 days for Herbst. Geez, I can't spell today, or type. Can I make that bold? Nope. Okay, so 20 days for my trip. No, you have to do all the rest of it. Yeah, we're doing it all. So now you have to find a car. And the reason why you have to know how many days that you're going to be on your trip is because that's going to determine how expensive your car is. So it says, find a reliable car to rent. You can use Kayak, Expedia, Priceline, Hotwire, or another travel website to compare prices. If you're asked to type in dates for your trip, use a pickup date of June 1st. You can actually, this was before school got shortened. You actually could use the 16th. You can leave as early as May 16th. And a drop-off date based on how long your trip should last, according to your answer in Part A. I need to say up here that I made that number up. Okay, you will not be making your number up, and yes, I do go through and calculate that everyone figured out how long their trip was accurately. Okay, so I'm just going to go to Google. I have to pick a vehicle. So these are some of the things I want to talk to you about today, are how to Ew, get this black bar out of here. Go away. Oh, I can move it. Can I move it? Yeah, get out of here. Oh. Move it down. Back over here. What am I supposed to do? Can you guys see that black bar? Go away. Okay, we're going to try again. Alright, I'll just type in here. Okay, so I want to rent a car. Rent a car. There are several local places. So in Kendallville, there is actually an Enterprise, I think, out of Tom Shepard's car dealership. Out of Shepard's, I think you can rent a car from there. There's a rental car. There's a rental car place in Auburn. There's a rental car place, all kinds of them in Fort Wayne. You do have to go actually pick up the car, but for price accuracy, you're probably best to like stick with a local place. Now, students are going to ask in a minute, what kind of car can I rent? You can rent any kind of car you want, but you have to pay for it. So I'm just going to go to Enterprise's website, and I want to share this today, and I'll share it again tomorrow when we do hotel stuff. You, at no time in any of this should you ever be typing in your name, a phone number, an email address, any kind of contact information. You can get all the way to look at how expensive a car is without typing any of that in. So it asks for the pickup location. So I am going to do Kendallville. There's a Kendallville, Iowa. Did anybody know that? And I'm going to pick up my car on May 16th. I will go ahead and start. And my trip is 20 days. So this is where you use the calendar to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I'm going to be back on June 4th. Don't worry about the renter age. Don't worry about the class of vehicle. Don't worry about this code or anything like that if you're using Enterprise. And now it's going to take you to another screen that's going to show you, what does this say? Choose a location. I did this. Oh, we want Kendallville. Okay, oh look at that, Honey found a coupon. So now you can start looking at how much this is going to cost you, and you'll see that the more expensive a vehicle is, or the bigger a vehicle is, the more expensive it will be for the trip. So if I want an intermediate sized SUV, it's going to be $623.60 for the entire trip. A smaller economy car, and it will tell you what type, a Toyota RAV4 or similar, a Mitsubishi Mirage or similar. Typically when you rent a car, you don't get to pick the exact car you want. You have to pick a type of vehicle, and then they give you a car like that. They can't always guarantee what they're going to have in stock. No, you don't have a budget, Ben, so you can do, you know, you want to rent a McLaren, you go ahead and figure out how to rent a McLaren. I don't know how to do that, but so I prefer, just because I drive one, something more like a compact SUV, I would say. I drive like a Ford Edge, so it's kind of like that. But this is a Ford EcoSport or similar. It's going to be $623.48. So I'm going to select that car because I want to find out a couple other things about it. Sometimes you can get the information from this page and sometimes you can't. I don't want any kind of equipment added. I don't want Sirius. I don't want greenhouse gas emissions. I don't want GPS. So I'm going to continue because I don't want to add anything of that, like that to my car. Okay, you're consolidating your branches. Good. Okay, so here we go. Here's my price tag down here. So they put in some taxes. So $623.48, and you can kind of see the breakdown here. Again, you're not filling any of this out. Don't put your parents' info there. Don't put a phone number there. Don't put an email address. Just make sure you have your days correct. You will have to usually type in a pickup location, a return location, and then pick your car. So $623.48. I'm going to go back over to my document. What kind of vehicle did you choose? What did that say? A Ford EcoSport. says be sure to save a picture of your car for your presentation. There's a place for that down here at the bottom. So I'm going to do that now as well since I'm on this page. Pull out your snipping tool. There's my car. Control copy. Control paste. There's my car. Okay, it says what's the cost for renting the car? I forget already. $623.48. So that goes here. I also want to share no one else can pick the Ford EcoSport now that I'm done this part for you. What's its miles per gallon? So this is where you're probably going to have to go online and search because it doesn't always show up on these car rental sites. So it says you can go to fueleconomy.gov, or oftentimes you can just go to Google and type in Ford EcoSport MPG. And there it is right there. It just pops up right in the, now you have to click on it. So it says 27 miles per gallon in the city, 29 miles per gallon on the highway. You want the highway mileage because the majority of your trip is going to be traveled on a highway. So 29 miles per gallon on the highway. So this is the part I really wanted to go over with you today. The rest of this math is how to calculate how many gallons of gas you need and also how much you're going to spend on gas based on the average price, which has now, I bet, gone up. So when I got this, let's see, average gas price. It's probably not $1.77. Oh, it's even cheaper. No, that's state. National? Average national? Oh, it did go down. Well, it's about to go back up. I don't know if your parents have talked about gas, but gas prices went back up again. So anyway, you are going to, let me go back to the document. Wait, don't you need low emissions in California? You do, but we're going to pretend like we don't have to worry about that today. There are several states I think you need low emissions. Okay, so once you know the car you're getting, the price it's going to be for the entire trip, remember you have to calculate that up here. You have to calculate how many days you're going to be gone. Then you're going to go here. Now you know how many miles you'll be traveling. That's from task 1. That was yesterday. You added all that. And you know your vehicle's miles per gallon. So if my trip is 4,200 miles, then I would divide by 29. It tells you right here what to punch in. So you come right in here and you type, okay, I'm going to travel, I think you can type right here. No, maybe not. That's okay. So it tells you what to do, what to divide right there. And then you're going to calculate how much you spend in gas. You're going to use this number that you get here, multiply it by 1.77 to get your amount of gas. So yeah, I know. So we get lots of questions about cars. Can I rent an RV? Yeah, sure. You can rent an RV, but when we do the hotel part the next day, you still have to get hotels. So even though you're renting an RV for your travel, you aren't able to sleep in it as a shortcut to get out of picking all of your hotels, if that makes sense. So you will still need to, yeah, right? You will still need to get hotels tomorrow. We'll talk about that. So the car thing I think today probably won't take as long as it did yesterday. If you have trouble with the math, please just read through this. Take the time to read it and understand. I literally tell you what to do in step C and D. I will get the video uploaded to YouTube now, but it'll probably take me 15 or 20 minutes before that uploads, and I'll post it right here on Canvas right underneath today's date. But it's going to take, a half an hour or more for that to show up because for some of you, you may just want to play this video while you're working so you can pause and see everything that I did. Again, you cannot rent the car that I just rented. You have to pick something else besides a Ford EcoSport. And you can, if you want, let's see, rent I don't even know how to spell McLaren. Oh, there it is. McLaren Rentals. I mean, where even is this? This is probably like, yeah, California. You're going to go all the way to California to rent a car. So look how much these cost a day. You're welcome to use these prices. Leo's like obsessed with McLarens on some silly YouTube channel. A guy bought one, so he's like in love with the McLaren. But $719 a day. That's more than my whole car cost me for 20. So you're right. You don't have a cap on how much money you can spend on this trip. So if you want to go crazy, go ahead. This is one where you probably wouldn't have to type anything in, or where, or even a from, or anything like that, because it shows you the price per day right here. I'd pick this ugly yellow one because it's the cheapest. But yeah, so there you go if you want to rent something wild or crazy like that.
I'm gonna rent a Cybertruck.
Yeah, I mean, you can do whatever you want. So if there aren't any questions today on this part of the task, then I think you're free to work because that's it for today. It's just the car information. I also think someone just verify yes or no. As you're entering stuff into this table, is it kind of pushing everything else down behind it, like underneath it? Yeah, there you go. Get a Ferrari.
I don't really like Ferraris. I don't like the body style.
I'm going to save this. I don't know why this black bar won't go away. Can you guys see this black bar that says currently
Yeah.
sharing? I'm going to stop sharing, then it'll go away. There we go. Okay, I saved that document so that tomorrow I can open that back up. I'm going to go ahead and stop